Can you dig it? Bears fan.
I can dig that we got a quarterback.
Yo, Chicago.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Windy City Digits Live. This is Bears Postgame Edition. That's Vic. I'm Carl. This is going to be the first of our two shows today, since the Bulls play later tonight. But right now,
let's play two.
So the Bears just wrapped up the game against the Dolphins, losing 35-32. Terrible call at the end of the game with no pass interference.
Yeah, that was a joke.
And the referee is standing right there. You can see in the shot, he's looking right at the play.
Those two calls, those two pass interference calls, the one on Eddie Jackson and the lack of a call on that one was horrendous.
Well, it was only that. It was the call where they didn't call intentional grounding, where they picked up the flag, right? Then the crap pass interference on Eddie Jackson, and then they don't call the one on Claypool. Yeah, Skokes, he totally got mugged on that one. But there's a lot to unpack with this game today. So
there is a ton.
Where do you want to start?
All right, let's start off with some negatives first, and then we'll go to the positives.
Okay.
All right. So to me, the negative was overall our entire defense, and I don't know if you would say if it was our defensive plan and a combination of our just defensive effort, or if you would say it was one or the other, but I think it was combined. Because at the end of the game, like you said when we were texting, they started blitzing a little bit. I thought they were having a little bit more success when they started blitzing.
Yeah, look, this is Miami's ninth game, right? They're leading the league in passing. There's a reason why they're leading the league in passing, right? They're 6-3. It's not like we're the only team that they tore it up against, right? I mean, the whole league has been terrible. Sorry, I got my other computer on here. It's like making a noise.
302 passing yards from Miami. We had 116. Once again, it's our fourth game in a row over 250 yards rushing.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet. Of course, 178 yards from QB1.
Yeah, so, and that's a record. That's an NFL record.
Well, it's an NFL record in the regular season, by the way. I looked it up. It was Michael Vick who had the regular season record, and Colin Kaepernick had 181 yards in, I want to say, 2012.
Okay.
In an NFC divisional game. But nonetheless.
Yeah, but the other guys, look, the other part of it is like, look, it felt like we're moving the ball up and down the field, but Montgomery and Herbert really were not involved at all in the offense.
Very, very little.
Yeah, and Montgomery only had 36 yards. Herbert only had 23, but between the two of them, they only had 21 carries between the two of them, right? So I don't know. There's good and bad to that offense, right? I mean, yeah, they ran the ball, but again, most of that was Justin Fields. Half of that was design. Half of that was the long run they had. The one run that they had for like 70-something yards. I mean, that was scrambling for his life.
Yeah, it was a 61-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and that was just because the play broke down. It wasn't that the pass defense was bad. I mean, to be honest, the offensive line held up pretty well. I think they only gave up one sack today.
It did. You know what? He actually looked like he had a lot of time in the first three quarters, and also seemed kind of relaxed. So I think that boded well for him. But some missed opportunities. I thought they were doing those like quick drops to the receivers, like way too often. You know, in the beginning of the game, cute, but they kept on going back to it, and I didn't understand why they didn't try and stretch the field a little bit sooner than they did with Claypool at the end.
Okay, so I'm gonna educate you a little bit here. There's a reason why you run those paces, because you want to stretch out and you want to keep the defense honest. I know you felt like they were running it a lot, but it kind of
They
made
did.
sense. It kind of made sense because you want to keep those defensive backs honest and draw them up to the line. And then you're basically setting them up for a long pass, kind of like at the end of the game to Claypool, huh?
Like one pass?
No, you're setting. Yeah, basically you are setting because you aren't going to throw the ball deep most of the game. You're gonna get a lot. Most of your throws are going to be within 10 to 15 yards, usually within 20. So you want to keep that. You want to try to keep them honest, and you want to spread out the field for the running game. So like if you got to protect the outside with the receivers outside, you got to have more guys outside, which frees up the middle. Because if you noticed, a lot of times they had 7, 8 guys in the box. So you had to spread it out to kind of keep them honest.
We ran that play too often.
Well, when you're loading up the box with 7, 8 guys, you got to come up with something different because.
Yeah, they do. They need, and it's too bad Aquaman didn't catch that ball because Justin Fields deserved better, man.
Yeah, look, he needed to make that catch on that, but the 2 plays before that, aside from the missed pass interference, the first play out of it was a run, which I didn't get. So we lose. We had missed an opportunity to gain some yards there. If you're going to do a run there, maybe run it with Fields. Maybe do like a designed run instead of handing it off to Montgomery or whoever it was that they handed the ball off to. That was a missed opportunity. They did run that one swing pass to Mooney. Again, only got a yard out of it, and then they got the missed PI on there. I thought they should have, they could have been a little more creative with that last possession, other than a run and a swing pass.
I actually thought the possession before that, when they punted with 3 minutes left, I thought they were taking forever and being too slow to get back to the line for a play. Like
that was by design.
They were taking but because they thought they were going to make it down there and
you don't want
no clock for Miami.
Correct.
Yeah, but I don't know how. I don't see the point of that with a team that. I mean, I get the last 2 games, our offenses look pretty good, and that most of the game we look good, but we're not a confident team in terms of like making those plays to win games yet. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I get the point of it with a veteran team who would be able to handle that, but our team needed more time to have a chance to score.
It's game situation. You no matter what, you're in your mindset. You're playing to win the game. You're playing to score, but you're also trying to make sure you don't leave any time left on the clock. They were ready like on the 30 or 35 yard line, like 2 first downs. You're almost in field goal position, right?
No, Nick,
totally agree, Nick.
That was that was a horrendous call. There were
and right in front of the
horrendous calls.
Yeah,
and I felt bad for Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson's was turned around for that ball, and
he has much as right to the ball.
That's right. And was that Hill?
It was Waddle.
Or Waddle. I mean, Waddle didn't even. I don't even think Waddle could see the ball because of the sun. And then that was a terrible call. So yeah, those 2 calls hurt, but our defense was terrible. For 3.5 quarters.
Look, I'll bring it up again. They're the number 1 passing offense for a reason, right? It's not like we're the only team that they've sliced up for this many points. They've actually scored more points against other teams. You're
making excuses again.
I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you, they're the number 1 offense. They're the number 1 offense in the league for a reason.
They are, but the Bears defense looked terrible, man.
What did you expect?
It looked terrible.
But what did you expect against the number 1 passing offense in the league? I mean, seriously, what did you expect?
Well, I expected a little bit of the fourth quarter.
The reality is
we talked about it, man.
Justin Fields scored more points than.
It's funny how you change your mind. You were talking about where are the defensive changes in the middle of the game? Look, where's the blitzing? Right? We didn't see enough of that.
Look, I'm totally agreeing with you, but I'm saying overall, look, we actually outscored them in the second half, believe it or not.
Yeah, our offense was great, man. This is not on the offense whatsoever.
Right? We actually shut them out in the fourth quarter. So whatever changes we made, did work. It's just by the time we got to the fourth quarter, and we got to within 3. You got the offense the ball back twice with a chance to win the game. Defense did what it's supposed to.
You thought the defense did what it was supposed to do?
Look, you were down 10 points in the fourth. You were down 10 points in the third quarter, right?
Oh my God, man. All right, so right now, who are you picking? Okay, I'm going to get this off the screen. Who are you picking right now for the Bears in the draft next year?
It's hard to say right now. Because you don't know.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, you don't know who's coming out. You don't know where you're going to fall in the draft yet. You don't know where your draft picks are.
Well, we know the wide receiver group isn't strong, right?
You're never going to draft You're never going to draft a wide receiver with that number 1 pick.
Yeah, that's
not unless someone like Marvin Harrison comes out and you trade up for it. Like in the top, you're basically going to have to trade into like the top 5 to get a huge impact wide receiver.
I know. We need defensive players.
Which you could get in the middle to late first round.
Yeah. So Justin Jones actually looked good. He looked good at times. Cornerbacks or safeties. Like I didn't understand why they were getting so wide open in the zone.
We held them to 77 yards rushing.
All right, let's look at. Yep.
So 77 yards rushing. Tua ran 5 times for 0 yards. So, for the most part, as far as the run, they did their job. Tyreek Hill did go off for 143 yards based on the coverage that they had.
It could have been worse.
Tua's actually, I'm going to look up Tua's numbers, but Tua's actually had more yards against other teams. He only threw for 300 yards today, which felt like a lot more.
Yeah, I'm looking up team stats right now, man.
Last week, he threw for 382 against the Lions. He threw
They're third in passing. 306.9 yards per game. So isn't that what he got, his average?
A little bit below that.
Okay.
He threw for 469 against the Ravens. But he threw a lot more in those particular games. I mean, today he was, let's see, what was the number?
Miami is fifth from the bottom in rushing yards per game at around 88.1.
Yeah.
They had a little bit less than that today, right?
Yeah. So,
okay. So that's your point. Like
my point is that they're a top passing offense. And
they are.
And you have a couple new linebackers. Sanborn was thrown in today into that spot where Roquan was. You're still trying to place Robert Quinn, and look, that's just the reality of it, right? But I'll again in the fourth quarter, when the game is still on the line, you held them twice on 4th down. Now, why we can't do that earlier in the game, I don't know.
Yeah,
right? But
I was disappointed in that.
Yeah, but I mean, in the fourth quarter, again, you were down 10 points in the third. You made a comeback. You got it to within 3. You got your offense the ball back twice in the last 5-6 minutes of the game. If that's a different offense, in other words, like, you have maybe 1 or 2 different people on the line, maybe Claypool's up to speed with the playbook. That playbook is a lot more open and a lot more options for Justin to probably win the game.
Hopefully. Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of downfield passing, so I hope that's the case. That was the whole point of picking him up. But once again, they should have been down by the 30-yard line from that pass interference call.
And we
didn't talk made that.
Yeah, and look, we didn't talk about it. Claypool wasn't in their lap, but the times he was in the game, he made an impact.
He
for
did.
the plays that he was in the game.
He did right away.
Yeah, I mean, even on that last play, on that PI, it should have been a PI. He was the guy they threw to. He still almost made the catch. But I mean, even the announcers, Trent Green and Kevin Harlan, they were calling for the pass interference before the play was even over.
Yeah, you could see he wrapped his arms right around his waist. And
Apparently,
I would
the
even
referees
say,
didn't see it that way.
yeah, I would even say that second Dolphin down there hit him before he had a chance to catch it, but that was close.
Yeah.
But he was definitely messed with around the waist. Mooney. So Mooney had 7 receptions today. So do you think that's in direct relationship to Claypool being out there? Or do you think it's more of a confidence and capability by our QB1?
No, I think it's a combination of things, but I also think, as I've been harping on, it's the play calling. Because a couple of those receptions that he had, it was like quick reads, like it was quick throws to him. The one catch he made in the end zone was a perfect throw for the touchdown. Again, a great catch by him. I think his production is going to increase once we get Claypool in the mix. But I think that's a couple of things. It's just a function of the play calling, getting Fields out in the field more, because you could say the same thing about Kmet, right? Kmet's been way more involved over the last couple of weeks. Had 2 touchdown catches today.
I wonder why somebody wouldn't play him in his fantasy league then.
Yeah, because that guy's an idiot.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Cole Kmet, 5 receptions, 41 yards, 2 TDs.
I don't even know look how many points he had today for my fantasy. How many points I gave him for my fantasy football team.
Oh, yeah, with 2 TDs. Yeah, he probably had close to 30 points, I bet.
Like a moron.
Yeah, you know, this is the first game of the year that Fields actually played productively for me as a fantasy quarterback. So, well, I think, you know what, the good things, like you said, was Claypool. Seeing Claypool out in the field, I think it opens up more for the Bears. Justin Fields making really good decisions, other than that one pick when there was a double flag.
Yeah,
we were lucky on that one. But other than that, I mean, everything. I don't know how he could do anything more for the team.
Other than play some defense.
Yeah.
Right.
If he could blitz the quarterback and get to the quarterback, that'd be nice.
It'll be interesting because I was kind of during commercial breaks, I was checking out Twitter on some of the commercial breaks, and like some of the national media were talking about how Justin Fields was playing, right? But I found it funny, like on this the game was on CBS today, and during halftime they didn't even mention Fields once. It was all about Tua, about how he was almost perfect. Not even a mention of him. But even the people that were commenting on Fields saying, look, he looks good, like Chicago's got their quarterback now. People were saying like, look, if it's not for his legs, he's still he's still running more than he's passing. He's not a quarterback.
That's just bogus. That's bogus talk. I mean, obviously he's getting a lot of yards with his legs, but our receivers still need to get open. Some of his play calling, I guess. I mean, they're calling run plays for him because he's being productive. Who cares?
Look, it's a combination of things. When Patrick Mahomes joined the league, he ran a lot, but he also had Travis Kelce and he had Tyreek Hill at the time, right? Some of these other running quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, had a couple of receivers with him, right? Look at the guy in Philadelphia right now, whose name is Jalen Hurts. They went out and got him a number 1 receiver. They drafted one last year, right? So he's got 2 top flight receivers. Justin, when he gets to that point, hopefully Claypool is going to be that guy along with Mooney. And you add, one more guy in there that can step up and give you some receptions and at least be an impact. The fact that we're scoring 30 points with the weapons we've got now.
Yeah, as a Bears fan, we're not used to that.
No, we're used to Matt Nagy 17 points, right?
Uh,
We scored
yeah,
17 points. We knew that was it. Like, you got to hold the 16 because Matt's not going to score more than 17 points a game.
yeah. You know what? The one play I really liked too was Justin Fields' first touchdown to Komet, because like it seems to me like in the past that Justin Fields wasn't all that good like some other quarterbacks of when he hands off and he's doing a fake handoff that he would
Mhm.
hide the ball well.
Yep.
And I thought he faked out. I mean, he faked out the entire camera crew even on that play. And I thought that's what made that play is skill to hide the ball. But I've
Yeah.
seen in past where he wasn't always that good at it. And I don't know if that's just me not being a literate football fan or if he's actually progressing in that area.
Look, I'm sure again, part of that is play calling, part of that is repetitions, right? Part of that is the defense, right? Storm, it's a family show, Storm.
I'm surprised Carl's pants are on.
How do you know? How do you know, Storm? I mean, you usually only see me from the here on up. How do you know that?
He's right behind you, man. Look out.
By the way, I'm going to the game next week.
Yeah, you missed some of Carl being homerish a little bit. Like our
There
defense
the
is better than I was saying. I said the Bears defense is trash, but hey Vic, but they're playing one of the best passing
I don't know what you
offenses in the league.
look. We know
That is true.
they're bad, but I don't know what you expected.
I just expect I want better. That's all. I'm just
The offense
flat
we
out
played
telling you
today.
that
Listen, the offense
it's a
we
reversal of fortunes right now, man. Like we went from halfway good defense in the beginning of the year and a trash offense, traded two guys, and our defense has become completely trash in the last 2 weeks, and our
okay.
offense looks amazing, which I
Look,
love.
you gave up less points this week than to a better offense than the Cowboys,
So I should
and
be happy.
that's without Roquan Smith,
I am so happy.
right? Yeah.
I know it. I know it does. Yeah.
I just don't know.
So
I just don't know what you were expecting, right? I mean,
no, I was expecting the score to be like a high scoring game. So I wasn't. I'm just saying that the defense stinks.
okay, you want to take away
It's
the
not.
positive.
It's not good.
Well, the
But
positive is
the
that we can
offense
to carry in the next week. We didn't give up a point in the fourth quarter. How's that?
that is great, and then the offense just looks great right now. If we could get some better like reception yards, that would be nice.
What kind of alternate universe are we living in when Justin Fields throws 3 touchdowns and Aaron Rodgers throws 3 picks against
Yeah,
against
right.
the Lions?
It
Uh,
literally looks like the Bears have the best offense in the Central.
yeah, and the two of the picks that Rodgers had were in the red zone today. So
I love that fact. It would have been nice if we would have pulled this one out. Yeah, Green
right,
Bay. Yeah,
yeah,
Green Bay's done.
and the 2 touchdowns that he had to commit were in the red zone, right? I think was
Hmm.
Mooney's in the red zone too.
It was close.
Yeah, so 3 passing
If we look at
touchdowns down there. So
yeah, what do you,
overall, like I'm still I'm still a little mad about the non-called PI, but I'm still frustrated also with the 2 plays that he called before that, like a running play and a swing pass. You got to get the ball downfield.
I agree.
We're in the
I
last
didn't.
2 minutes of the game.
Yep,
You got to get the ball downfield,
absolutely. I didn't
right?
understand the play calling at the end. I love the play calling for most of the game, but frustrated with some of the play calling at certain times. But then
All right, so
again,
here's the question I would ask, right? I mean, we're now 3-6, right? 8 games left to go. Are you happy with where the Bears are at right now compared to what you were thinking at the beginning of the season?
Let's see here. That's funny. I didn't. You know what? I don't even think they're going to win 8 games. So,
Oh, I'm not
no,
worried
I'm
about.
not.
I'm not.
I'm
I'm
not.
not talking about at the end. I'm talking about like right now, where they are right now. Are you
I am
happy with the
happy.
progression?
I am happy with the offensive projection. Or God, I can't even talk today.
Progression.
Yeah, the offensive progression. Very disappointed how bad our defense was. I thought our defense was going to be better coming into the year. So I'm a little disappointed at how many players that we still need to be a very competitive team against some of these upper echelon teams. But I like the plan that Poles has. I mean, they've got enough picks, they've got enough capital. They should be able to come back and have a very competitive team next year. They should be better than 500.
Well, they're competitive in all the games now. There's only one game really they haven't been competitive in.
So I'm talking about competitive and actually winning games.
They could have won today,
They didn't.
right?
Yeah.
Really, there's maybe actually 2 games that they really weren't in at all, but they made a good run at it and tried to get back in the game.
Look at Storm being all positive.
He's not wrong,
Yeah,
right?
he's not.
I think the better question you were asking earlier about who would I draft? I think the better question is what position would I draft in the first round?
Edge rusher.
You need a interior defensive lineman.
You need that too.
Right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that too.
Yeah,
either one of those would be nice, man.
Because look,
we are.
I think the rookies that we drafted this year, especially Gordon and Brisker, for the most part, like they're progressing. Like I'm happy with the way that they're playing, right? It's not like they're costing us touchdowns. Especially Gordon's getting better, seems to be getting better each week.
Yeah, this game didn't look good.
Right?
Yeah. But I don't know how many people play well against Waddle and Hill. So
they weren't playing man to man; they were playing zone.
I know.
So you can't put that on one guy.
Just the whole pass defense looked terrible today.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So, all right. Well, the Bears dropped this one today by 3. Next week they get the Lions, who won today against the Packers. Thankfully, we're still tied with Packers for second place. So we'll see how it goes. We will be back later tonight after the Bears play the Raptors. So those of you who normally join us, Storm, Skokes, everyone else, hopefully we'll see you guys later tonight. Until then, we will see you in the next video. Peace.
Love.